Thanks, Josh. We're very excited to talk with you all today. As Josh said, my name is Dave Nilsson, and I work with incredible scientists to find ways of using our platform to make existing technologies better. And one of those areas is in battery and energy storage, and we're thrilled to share with you our technologies and specifically how we improve lead acid and lithium battery performance. Next slide, please. Getting right to the point, in the battery marketplace, we help rechargeable energy systems charge faster. And we help them hold more charge and last longer and operate more safely using our EVQ GA material. Next slide. There are massive challenges to overcome in existing battery technology as well as in developing future battery technology. And one of those issues is that demand for energy storage is increasing logarithmically. And these batteries need to charge faster and last longer and have smaller footprints. Next slide. In the next 20 years, the demand for energy and energy storage is going to increase substantially. The Department of Energy predicts there will need to be 300 million high-powered rapid charging stations to meet demand. Next slide. Lead acid battery demand is expected to require an additional 115 gigawatt hours, which is the equivalent of 1.2 billion 100-watt light bulbs. And for lithium, it's even more. It's expected to require an additional 2,700 gigawatt hours, which ends up being the equivalent of 27.5 billion 100-watt light bulbs. Next slide. So we've engineered a cost-effective solution that will help batteries today and with the development of rechargeable energy storage systems in the future. We've engineered a gold allotrope, which is science speak for a different form of gold. It's like comparing graphite to diamonds. One type of carbon is for pencils and the other is for engagement rings. So our gold nanoparticles are engineered specifically for energy storage systems. They're spherically shaped, custom sized, they don't aggregate, they don't follow a solution, which is to say they'll stay perfectly mixed in any solution, which is incredibly important when dealing with battery electrolyte solutions. And these properties may sound interesting, but if the specs didn't grab you, what may grab your attention is that this combination of technology is critical when it comes to improving battery performance. Next slide. It sounds like many of you already know this, but one of the biggest challenges that exists when building batteries that charge faster and last longer is that they're prone to forming dendrites. And if batteries have a cancer, you know this is it. They're responsible for poor performance, batteries shorting out. And when you've heard of batteries catching fire, this is why. And Dr. Chu from Stanford recently stated in the US National Academy of Sciences that building a fast charging battery that can suppress dendrites is a holy grail problem. Next slide. Incorporating our EVQ GA into the electrolytes of batteries suppresses and impedes dendritic crystal formation. We've used scanning transmission electron microscopy, which gives us a clear picture of when using EVQ GA. The dendrites are significantly smaller. These images show that we had a 75 to 90% reduction compared to those in normal batteries. Next slide. We performed testing in laboratories under controlled conditions, and it showed that our batteries using EVQ GA charged faster, had more amperage, lasted longer, they were safer, and extended the overall lifetime of the battery. So we decided to take our lab data and did some field work testing. Next slide. When we tested our lead acid batteries, we saw a greater than 20% increase in amperage, a 50% reduction in charge time. We also saw a 90% decrease in dendrite formation. And the data indicated that with existing battery technology today, we'd be able to decrease the battery footprint by 18% and get the same energy storage performance with improved recharging times. We also would see a 30% increase in battery life. And we're currently performing field tests with our lithium systems, and we expect similar, if not better results. Next slide. We know that we're different from other nanotechnology companies, both in our technology as well as how we're positioned. We have 22 granted patents and 23 pending. Of our patents, 9 have been granted for battery and 10 additional are patent pending, again, specifically for battery. We're engaged with award-winning academic scientists, electrochemistry, and have access to one of the few National Science Foundation's material research science and engineering labs, and it allows us to test and validate our claims. We received recognition for our technology with an invitation to present at the recent lead acid battery conference. And as a side note, we have been recognized for our work in textile applications and have been awarded grants for our ongoing work in developing pharmaceutical and biotechnology devices. Next slide. We are interested in working with commercial entities who would like to be in a pilot using our development kits. This is where you can take our material and assess its performance within your company's manufacturing environment. And this is essentially a qualified test run. We're also looking to partner with government agencies who are looking for ways to improve energy infrastructure as well as decrease the overall costs associated with development of rechargeable energy systems. And then for anyone who wants to join us on our journey, we're also seeking strategic investors. And the contact information of our CEO and VP of sales is also at the bottom of the slide. Next slide. We feel we have an exceptional team. Bill Niedermeyer is the founder of technology. He's a world-class expert in high energy physics. Dr. Kennan heads up our science team. I'm a senior scientific advisor for EVŌQ Nano. Brent Lindy heads up our sales, and Brian Bertha is our CEO. And as a side note, we're currently at the Battery Show Conference in Michigan. For any who are there and would like to meet with us personally, we'd love to be able to meet and talk with you a bit more. Next slide. We are excited to work with you and together accelerate the future of energy storage systems. We welcome any questions. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Fantastic. Go ahead, Kyle.
So I think kind of a similar question to some of the other panelists is trying to understand where you expect to fit with existing battery manufacturers. Are you co-opting them? Is this a technology that can be adopted by them and an improvement to their process that you then license? Or how does that, how are you expecting the business model to work?
Thank you for the question. Really what we want to do is we want to be able to test out the technology with commercial partners and then identify what's going to be the best solution for them. I mean, currently we're set up to be able to source all the material and we're able to scale it to the level that would be needed in order to be able to provide them the material to incorporate into their manufacturing processes. But we're certainly open to licensing the technology domestically.
Maybe I'll ask the next question. Currently, where do you incorporate this gold electrode particle? Is it in the electrodes or electrolyte? And I think the presentation mentioned that the battery can be 18% smaller. With the current loadings, do you have sort of an estimate the cost of this additive? How much incremental cost would that be for the whole lithium-ion battery system?
Yeah, thank you for the question. So right now, the material is incorporated in both the electrolyte and in the paste that is applied to the batteries. And it's in the electrolyte that will allow for the nanoparticles to act as seeds, and they allow for the electroactive species to be a bit smaller, but also more numerous. And that's what is able to show that it increases the amperage. And then for the charge-discharge cycles, it can be much more effective. And that's shown by adding it to the electrolyte and to the paste. We expect to be cost competitive with regards to what will mean for energy storage manufacturers, batteries, and such. And so, when we're working with companies who are interested in incorporating the technology, we know that we can manufacture in a way that will enable us to be cost competitive. Does that answer your question?
Sort of. I was looking for the quantitative number, I guess, like, because this is gold particle, right? So you save 18% of the size, but that's because it's gold. Does it add you back, the 18% of the cost of the component cost?
I can understand that, and with gold being as expensive as it is today, the size of the material and the volume of the material. We know that we'd be able to be incorporated into a manufacturing process that will not significantly add to the cost structure needed for manufacturing the batteries, and ultimately being able to sell them business to business to consumers down the line.
Great. Any last questions? John, did you have a question?
I did, but she just asked it, so.
Okay, perfect. I'll finish with one question. David, any additional markets other than lithium and lead battery?
Well, we certainly have applications in anti-corrosion. The nature of gold is showing that that impact on being able to avoid corrosion in battery environments is critical, and that's an area that we're definitely looking into, particularly in like harsh environments that where corrosion is common, either through environmental environments, or with regards to like repeated force systems, machinery and such. So those are some of the areas that we're also pursuing. And as we mentioned before, we're working in biotechnology and pharmaceuticals for being able to create antimicrobial treatments, therapeutics, and products.